Dave Fair alongside Frank Mir in Las Vegas today, actually hanging out outside your house. How you been, man?
I've been doing real well.
I understand you just kind of came back from some whirlwind tour.
Yeah, Nutribolic's one of my sponsors. I kind of had put off a couple tours just because of preparing for the last fight. And, I had to make them up here. So a couple of them got condensed. So I was up in some areas in Canada, which, it's always pleasant, though. The Canadian fans are really awesome. So it's, besides the traveling part, everything else works out real well.
Does that suck for you going from training camp into the fight, immediately after the fight you've got to go out and do all of these tours?
Yeah, there's a party that wants to just chill out and play video games, hang out with the kids. But, it's part of the job that I do that, there's always the media aspect of it. And just, you accept it. I don't think I either dislike it or like it. I just, it's just part of the day.
UFC 111, you fought Shane Carwin. Obviously, that fight didn't go exactly as planned. What happened?
I was so, I think, consumed with the not being taken down against the cage that I was overlooking one area, and then I got caught with the uppercut. And, he hits hard, and so after that shot, I just wasn't quite myself and lost there. And just that was just really just fell victim to the fact of just overlooking one area. I was so consumed with not being put against the cage or not taken down against the cage that, just like I said, I overlooked the dirty boxing aspect of it.
Is it tough as an athlete in mixed martial arts when you have a moment and so much rides on one single moment where you can throw one punch? It's not like you get X amount of games throughout the course of a season. You get to slowly correct.
Yeah, that part, it can drive you nuts. And it used to really burn me as far as like, oh, man, it's like every 3 or 4 months we have our Super Bowl, and that's it. There's no in-between games. There's no build-up, and that's it, But I've really learned to just kind of approach it just in the end. It's all the only thing that made my Shane Carwin fight any different than a Brock fight, any different than an O'Gara fight, any different than my very first fight is what goes on outside the cage, all the titles or all the media attention. Other than that, basically it's the same thing. It's me versus another athlete and me fighting myself, trying to improve as a martial artist.
I remember we chatted a couple of months ago here on MMA 30, and you said that if you had a choice on paper of taking a Brock rematch or getting a shot at the title, you would take Brock. Now, let's say, for example, Shane Carwin beats Brock Lesnar on July 3rd. Do you think you're going to get that matchup with Brock?
I really don't know. I think obviously I'd have to come out and probably be a little bit more victorious in a fight or two. I don't think that if I don't get a fight before he fights Carwin and he doesn't come out on top, I don't think that's going to be an immediate turnaround. Would I still hope to be able to get a matchup? Yeah, obviously. But right now, I'm pretty much content to fight anybody in the heavyweight division. People keep asking about Anderson Silva. I guess Anderson Silva has made allusions to wanting to move up to heavyweight, and for whatever reason, he keeps saying my name. So I've even made statements where, if he really was serious, I would even try to make 235 as a catchweight to make it somewhat, fair as far as the weight difference, and that would be a fight I would really enjoy just because he's one of the best fighters in the world,
So the Anderson Silva matchup is intriguing for a lot of people because he's sort of toying with people that are in his weight division at 185, but when you add, say, an extra 100 pounds to an opponent as opposed to Damian Maia, who walks around at about 185, somebody your size, do you think somebody like Anderson Silva could effectively avoid you?
Oh, I think so. I think he has phenomenal footwork and head movement. I don't think it's an easy fight at all. I think there's a lot of heavyweights who'd probably turn that fight down because it would be, in their eyes, it would be everything they would have to lose. They'd sit there and lose to a guy who's smaller than them. But I don't really look at it that way. I look at it as, man, I get to go in there and exchange punches with one of the best strikers in the world, pound for pound, and try to get a hold of somebody who other people just can't catch. He seems to be like the Michael Jordan of our sport. I would love to go in there and fight him. Obviously you want to win every outcome, but to me it's more about fighting than winning and losing. To go in there and fight him, the only thing I'd be upset about is if it only lasted 30 seconds. If he goes out there and takes me out real quick or I take him out real quick, that'd be a little disappointing. But obviously if it went a distance and really the cat and mouse game and the strategy of going back and forth, I think there'd be a phenomenal, dance.
Something interesting that we saw on the news is Stephan Bonnar is now officially the replacement for Frank Mir as the color commentator for the WEC. Are you happy with Stephan Bonnar as the replacement?
Yeah, I think Stephan Bonnar's a great guy. I like him I think that the color commentator has to be a good mixed martial artist and very good knowledge of the sport.
Well, Frank, always good to talk to you, man. Glad that the book tour or that the sponsor tour went well. Glad you're back here in Las Vegas, and hopefully now you at least get a minute to relax, right?
Yeah, out tomorrow morning again, though, back to Canada, so I'll be in Toronto.
What are you doing, man? Just relax for a minute.
The new manager, kind of a little bit of a slave driver.
Your wife?
Yeah. Go figure. You don't want your wife and the manager to be the same person because she's getting the paychecks and the manager decides where you get the paychecks from. It's going to be kind of rough.
Dave Fair alongside Frank Mir for MMA 30. Thanks for watching.